Up, y'all? It's your boy Prometheus. I just finished watching Loki season 2 finale like last night. It's incredible. I have no words to explain what happened and the ramifications of the whole MCU and Marvel and all that. I'm gonna spoil the shit out of it. So if y'all watched it, y'all want to stay, you want to comment, fine. But if you didn't watch it yet, if you didn't watch it, go and watch it right now. It's like literally Friday. It should be out on Disney Plus or whatever. Go and watch it. Then come back, leave your reviews, leave your scores, leave your comments in the comments section below. All right, so we left off with Loki being unstuck in time, and he's trying to figure out everything and how to fix the loom and save the multiverse. So the thing is though, so Loki was like, okay, we're gonna try to fix the loom. So he does everything right, but it doesn't work because there's too much radiation. So Victor Timely starts getting blown up left and right. So Loki was like, okay, I mastered the unsticking in time, so I could basically get to a point where I could go back in time, so an earlier point and try to fix this. So he does that. Problem is, still too much radiation. So then he asks OB. He says, listen, um, what would I need to know with your and Victor's knowledge? What would I need to do? Like, how long would it take for me to learn the information? And he was like, and Obi was like decades, and Victor was like centuries. And then it cuts to a jump scene. It's like boop, centuries later. So I started laughing because I was like, what? So he took centuries learning all the technical information about how it works and everything. And I was laughing because then he went back to another earlier point. He starts rushing them. He does everything right. He lived through like mad Groundhog's Day. Like he lived through a lot of Groundhog Days. So basically, he tells him like, step by step by step by step by step. And Victor does it. He puts the machine the tube in the machine, pushes the green button, runs back. The rings expand. It looked like everything was safe. Then all of a sudden, the computer starts going wonky. The ring starts shaking, and he was like, What happened?" He's like, "I don't know. We did everything right." And next thing you know, shit blows up again, and Loki's like, "Fuck, we gotta do it again." And he's like, so then Loki tries to figure out like we did everything right. What was the wrong point? What did he do wrong? So then Loki, I guess, goes back to where He Who Remains was to try to get answers from him. So then he tries to get answers from He Who Remains, and he's like, oh, you finally figured it out. He's like, I told you I'll be back. He's like, and then Loki sits down and he starts talking to him. He says, okay, listen, why aren't the rings the loom is not helping anything? Why is it not working? He says it's a scaling problem. And he says, that's what Victor told you? And he's like, you can't do it. It's infinite. The multiverse is infinite. So you can't do it no matter how big the rings get to get all the branches through to make it one strand, it won't happen. So then he's stuck because he's like he doesn't want the ultimatum was that Sylvie is kind of like the key because everything started when she killed him. Like he's like, damn. So then him and Sylvie starts fighting and fighting and fighting, and then he's living life after life after life fighting her. She says, "If you want to stop me, you have to kill me." And he doesn't want to kill her. He's in love with her. So he's like, and then you see in his face, he's like, "Damn, I'm stuck. I'm stuck in this Groundhog's Day." So then he stops that, and something Victor said to him about the scaling problem. Something about so then Loki starts thinking to himself. He was like, I gotta figure out another way. So then he goes to see Sylvie in the episode before last, the previous episode, and then he manages to control the time slipping, and then he pauses, and then he brings her out of it, and she's like, "Oh, what do you do? What did you do?" And he's like, "Listen, I figured out how to do how to master my time slipping, but there's no other option." And he's like, the only way to stop it is by killing you. And she was like, you want my permission to like stop me? Like, and she was like, this is free will. I'm not gonna give you an invitation just to, my blessing to kill me. So Loki, he was like, fuck it. It was getting to the end of the episode. I'm just trying to figure out like what's going on. I don't know how he's gonna save it because no matter what he would do, the loom would still explode because it's a failsafe. He who remains, when he was talking, he said that's a failsafe. That no matter if it does explode, the sacred timeline would be intact. All the other branches would be destroyed in the resulting explosion. So no matter what, it would just be like, hey, listen, that's a failsafe. No matter what, it would just revert back to its original form. So Loki goes back to a point where they're about to go down. The Victor's about to go down to the looms. He stops Victor. He runs down the steps. He shuts the door, and they're like trying to get him out. And he's like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And he's like, I gotta do this. I gotta try. So he walks. He starts walking down the corridor, and all the energy is just hitting him and hitting him and hitting him. And he's like, you see like his clothes ripping off, and then all of a sudden you see like his suit starts changing, and it's like his suit starts changing to like a black shroud, and then like the helmet starts appearing, his horns start growing again. I'm like, okay. So then he goes to the center console, and he just basically destroys like the loom with his magic powers, and basically he just rips open um the whole between the whole multiverse reality, and you basically see like the citadel in the middle. So he's walking, so he starts making magic steps, and he's walking and walking, and he's pulling. He actually starts pulling the multiverse strands in his hand, and he's pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling, and then all of a sudden the throne is where the citadel was. So a throne starts forming, and he takes all the strands, he's assisting, he's pulling the strands together, and he's basically just intertwining the strands into one big strand, and then when he lets go, it becomes like a road tree. I'm like, and then when the camera pans up and he twists it sideways, you can see like Loki was in the center. The main continuity was at the bottom, but then at the top was the multiverse, and the multiverse was like strands of leaves. I was like, oh man, that shit look fire. Oh man. So I'm like, then it cuts to like a few days later or whatever, and Mobius is talking about, you know, I don't want to go to the war room. He's like, I want to quit. I mean, who's gonna miss an old analyst from the TVA? And he's like, and then B-15 was like, well, you enjoy, the rest of your life or whatever, you know, because I mean, he had a life on the timeline, and I guess he kind of like was missing it. He remembered everything, so he was kind of missing it. So then it cuts to another scene where he's outside of his old house, and he sees himself and his sons are playing, and then Sylvie comes up, and she was like, "It's weird without Loki being here to watch this," and he's like, I know," and she was like, "He gave us free will, you know." And then she walks off, and then she disappears a bit into a time door. And he was like, "I'm just gonna stand here and watch the moments pass by, the time pass by." And we cut to another scene where Renslayer is still alive. She's actually stuck in the purgatory, where all the people that was pruned and beings and objects are pruned. They're sent there to be eaten by Eliath. But we don't see Eliath. We just see her, and she's on the ground, and she wakes up, and she's like, "Oh, what the hell happened?" And all of a sudden, you hear Eliath, and she sees him, but underneath her feet, she sees like you can see the camera pans down. It's like a manhole, and it says "for all time, always." So I guess maybe things will change. Maybe she survives. I don't know what's gonna happen. And you see like Loki's sitting on a throne in the middle of the multiverse, but he's just looking at everything. He can't do anything. He's just sitting there. And I'm like, and then the episode ends, and I'm like, that's it? That like my body's blown. I'm like, what the fuck? That's how it ends. Like, what? Huh? So So Loki became the god of the multiverse or the god of stories or something like that. From what I heard with online, is a rumor that he became the god of stories because he went to that next level of godhood or whatever. I'm like, so is there gonna be a Loki season 3? I don't know. Is Loki gonna appear in the movies? Probably. Strongly, I suggest that he might appear in Thor 5. I'm not sure, but I'm hearing rumors that he might appear. Spoiler alert. You know, he might appear in some form of fashion. I'm not sure how, but he will. Or because I mean the next group of Marvel movies is Kang. It's gonna be like mostly Kang centered movies. So the Kang Dynasty, Secret Wars, it's gonna happen regardless. So it was a great finale. 10 out of fucking 10. Beautiful. Music, motion, everything. Storyline, everything's beautiful. Loki saved the multiverse, saved all these people's lives. And I mean, it's better than being dead. I mean, he's just stuck on the throne, but I guess it's better than being dead because his fate was to get killed by Thanos in his universe if he failed. So, anyway, that's the end of the review. Hit the likes, share, subscribe, hit the Cash App to donate wherever you can. More videos are on the way. It helps with the channel, the growth of the channel. I'll see you soon. Later.